Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time of the... No, break it down. Hello. Hello. The truth is we don't know how to start this book. All right? So here we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time you're listening to this, welcome to the audiobook for It's Not What You Think, written by me and narrated by me. For the purposes of bespoke compartmentalisation during the course of this book, where Dickens went for episodes, Shakespeare went for stanzas, and the good Lord himself for chapter and verse, being a DJ, I've gone for top tens. If they were good enough for Moses and his commandments, they should be good enough for my book. Top 10 tabloid newspaper descriptions of me. 10. Genius. 9. Whiz kid. 8. Mogul. 7. Motormouth. 6. Ugly. 5. Megalomaniac. 4. Drunkard. 3. Tyrant. 2. Liar. Number 1. Tosser. As you can see, there have been countless occasions when I've done myself few favours in the public eye. After some deep thought and consideration on the road back to the real world, I can only conclude that this was because I reached the top of a mountain I never expected to climb. Once there, it's obvious to me now that I didn't have the first clue what to do next, so I jumped off. Far more fun than merely walking back down and having a rest before setting off in search of the next one, I thought. Wrong. As a 13-year-old paperboy, I never for a second imagined the tabloids I was then delivering would one day take me into their beloved bosom and splash me on their front covers with such regularity and for such varying reasons. Some good, some bad, some true, some fittingly published, but that's all part of the deal. Anyone that complains about it, famous people that is, have to realise they can't have their cake and eat it. The fatal mistake is to moan. If you don't like the bright lights and everything that comes with them, get off the stage. For years, as the song went, I did it my way. For years, I thought I was bomb-proof. For years, I was just plain lucky when I thought I was being a wise guy. Of course, I got things wrong from time to time, but I put that down to being part of life's rich tapestry. After all, few of us set out to get things wrong on purpose. In the first half of my life, at least I hope it's only been the first half of my life, I achieved everything I ever aspired to. I performed a job that I loved. I punched way above my weight when it came to dating the opposite sex. I worked with and met some of the most talented and exciting people on the planet. I bought cars and houses that were to die for. And at one time, I was co-owner of a company that was worth over £1 billion. Yet here I am, sat back in front of the keyboard with a cup of tea, wondering just how on earth any of this happened. So was there a plan? Not that I'm aware of, but then again, I suppose there must have been. Surely a story like this couldn't occur by chance. Or maybe that's what life is, just one big accident from start to finish, and what comes round the corner to hit us depends on which road we're on at the time. Ultimately, I look back and see a minefield of huge risks and high stakes in all aspects of my life, some of which went my way, some of which did not, but most of which I didn't have to take in the first place, yet I still felt compelled to do so. Barring physical, mental and social disadvantages, I think this is the single most common theme that links people who might be more likely to exceed their so-called expectations as opposed to those who don't. I am constantly intrigued by this existence of ours and why we're here at all in the first place, and therefore, as a result, I am fascinated as to just how far we can take things before we are asked to leave. I also don't want to leave. I love being alive and here and breathing and laughing and crying and loving and feeling. And so I've tried to grab every day by the scruff of the neck and wring it out for all it's worth, often to the detriment of my own well-being as well as to the exasperation of those around me. But I'm sorry, I just can't help it. That's the way I am. Anyone who has a half-decent life and doesn't wonder on a daily basis about the magnificence and irony of being a human being, I simply cannot comprehend. Life is too fantastic to ignore. Along this path of frustration and wonderment, I've been lucky enough to achieve what many consider to be a reasonable level of success in my professional life, if not in my personal life, or at least that's what I thought. I've since come to realise that real success is about the long term. There's no better way to prove yourself than to get better at what you do every day you do it. There's no question I've made at least as many bad decisions as good ones, probably many more, and there's plenty of evidence to prove it. Losing a bunch of money for a start, £67 million at the last count. Not that I have much to start with, so let's not dwell on that. But I have also learned that it only takes one good break to turn your life around and launch you into a stratosphere you never even dared dream of. If I had to sum up the difference between the good times and the bad times, the bottom line is that when I've put the effort in, I've reaped the rewards. And when I've failed to do so,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?